Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work at Connect, Dawn Epiphany, and Mind Explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork to create, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the video. alleycatcreations211.com, which I'm going to update in a few days. It's my portfolio, and you get to see paintings. I make candles, skulls, pyramids, hyper-realistic drawings, all kinds of good stuff. So please, if you're interested in doing commerce with me, if you want something commissioned, please go email me. That's the only way I will do any kind of business. It's private. Memberships is a really great way to support this channel. I'm under the weather, by the way. Um, Channel memberships, you guys got an updated emoji. It's Batty. You guys get emojis when I go live, you can comment and emoji away. You also get Oracle card readings. I just uploaded the Oracle card reading for the channel members only. Really good spot on spiritual reading. It's giving you direction, it's giving you little hints. And that's kind of the reason why I'm here, going to do a metaphysical pondering show, my spiritual soul advice, perhaps. Um, but you guys get that 4 times a week. It is a $40 value just to get it one time. You guys are getting it 4 times a month, every weekend. Can't beat that for the value. It's great. I also have raffles every once in a while, and I raffle off $150 pyramids, skulls, candles, all kinds of goodies. So please, if you're interested in memberships, they're great. 40 gets to work with me behind the scenes on my presentations. I'm going to start doing that, more of that work, because I do put it into a format, and I'm still formatting everything. I'm doing more research and getting different tastes. So we'll get into it. But you guys get that. So please, if you're interested in working with me behind the scenes, and that's just you commenting me, letting me know if you got it, if you don't, I need to know these things. But anywho, hi everybody. Why I was gonna do a painting, and then I looked at the time and said, hell no. Can't do it. I have not been sleeping properly. I've been waking up at the other night was 2:11 in the morning. I don't know what synchronicity that it's occurring between 2 and 3. Um, I am don't want to give it this story. The body is rippling out the arthritis, and it's hitting me in some aspects. Also, I've been walking to work for over a month and holding really heavy things on my back and in my arms. So it's a good workout, but I'm sore. I'm sore. So, yeah. Mm. But after I was uploading the Oracle card reading, I've been getting this too. Like it's like not being over caffeinated, but I promise I'm like getting little widgies in my eyes. Um, Lots of stuff going on. And I wanted to just vent, not necessarily vent, but like talk with you guys. We're pinkies. Oh, look at that. We're spiking. Oh, no wonder why we're up. We're gritting. That's kind of the reason why I'm wanting to do this. We're really spiking. Shit. We're spiking hard, guys. But we're not spiking with like the long spikes. We're spiking in a grid. So during the reading, what I've been noticing in my own life is the little pings the universe is sending me that I'm not going back to the old radio station I used to listen to, like the Motown. Um, Not that I hate Motown, but I'm tuning into a higher version of a higher frequency of radio waves. And I haven't yet fully got to the octave of clear listening. Right now, I'm like just doing this with the antenna, and I'm still like getting it to where the precise point of ah, new life, right? It takes time. Aries are not patient, but it is what it is. I've been through this before. I've been through the rock bottom paradigm before. I did it in New York. It took 2 years. And in that 2 years, I suffered greatly. And not because I was in that mindset. I was hangry. I needed a Snickers. I was going to see you next Tuesday because I was getting sick and tired of the paradigm. I lost a shit ton of weight. I didn't need to lose, and by the way. And I did not have the reach of people that I thought I would have. The frequency that the cards brought up today was literally we're in the Bardo. That's the archetype that was pulled. The lovers, the Bardo, and the Kyros, which is like Kronos, but it's a little different. We're, as a humanity, individualistically, you don't have to be in this spot. I'm in this spot. Everybody's going to hit this eventually at some point in time, and I think I'm being one of the first in our collective. I know there's a few other people doing and going through the thickest shit right now, but I don't want anybody to think you're going to be left out. These things hit you differently. The way energy hits everybody is going to be different. The things and the signs, the synchronicities are not going to hit everybody. Uh, in many of the videos that I've been watching, there is a point where the universe is not going to respond back to you. It's a test, it's an initiation. And the test is, are you going to go back to the echo of the old life, or are you going to advance to the new? This is like humanity's test. And I think we're all starting to see that we're going to pass. It's just a matter of we already passed. Now let's get the fuck there. This is going to take time. Um, for me, it showed up in getting rid of, because it's been a while, maybe 8 or 9 months that I've really started not tuning into the politics. I was very into politics. I was really into one sort of politics. And then the spirit last year kind of knocked me on my ass and said, hey, we're going to watch Linda Good McGillis on Alexander Quinn, and you're going to learn about divine neutrality, and you're going to read Reconstructing Reality, and we're going to change your perception. We're going to give you a higher viewpoint. And once I was able to understand what they were saying, I read the books. My perception changed. That doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a false person. It makes me an expanded consciousness. I saw things finally for how they actually are playing out. I saw the game. I saw the program. I saw the narrative. And then I started seeing more and more and more evidence of the programs, of the narratives, the predictive programming, how they are manipulating your brain, how they are dictating certain carrot on a stick algorithms so it catches your brain and it stops you from going in and doing the work. If you want, from this now perspective that I'm in the now moment, if you want to move forward, in doesn't matter what age you're at, I get this all the time too. Well, I'm 70 years old and why am I going to shift? Like, because you're still needed. Stop your shit. My soul is the same age as your soul. I incarnated at a time because my frequency was needed to harness a Stargate. And just the alignment and the circumstances that led to that, I had to be born at a certain time. You were born at a certain time because your frequency was needed. Please, the age thing I get, I understand. And trust me, you've already lived your life. You have all the grandbabies, or you're alone and you're just done. You're tied up. You're right. Listen to me. No matter where you are in your life, anything can fall away, but you can also live the end of your life or the next couple of years in bliss, joy, abundance, prosperity, however you feel those are. Where are you in your moment of now? If you want the world to shift, you have to shift with it and with the change, and that comes first from you. This is what a lot of people are still missing, that ingredient. I'm noticing it out of all the podcasts and the things that I'm listening to spiritually. The ingredient is you got to do the work on yourself. You got to go and heal your trauma. The programming from your parents. We don't realize deep down in the subconscious, your parents shaped and formulated you for the best of their ability. Now, if you're coming from a divorced home, an abusive home, power narcissistic dynamics, there's a lot of things you project onto others you're not aware of that you do. It's subconscious. It comes out though. I'm recognizing that in a lot of other people in my life. I'm triggering a lot of things within them, and they're triggering like twin flames and soulmates and all these karmics that come around. You know, that those terms are thrown around, but there's a lot of truth to it, right? I merged out of the political and became divine neutral for expanded viewpoint. And what I am doing in the now moment is mastering my emotional states, gaining back my empowerment that I kept giving my power away to other people because I wanted something bad. I want the security. I want the love. But I need it from somebody who's going to give it to me unapologetic, with unconditional love, and not ask for anything back besides my love, my unconditional love, my give and take. I want things to be on an equal playing field. I don't want a superiority complex. I don't want an inferior complex. A lot of us came here to break the mold of this reality. We came here to shape difference, rewire the way the world is structured. Social norms and materialism is not my fancy. That. Sure, there's a lot of material objects behind me, but they all serve a purpose. But it's not a Ferrari, it's not a mansion. I live in a modest house that needs a shit ton of work. Um, And I'm blessed to have these things. We're at this point of where a lot of you are going to start seeing things in divine neutral. You're going to say, well, is there really good and evil anymore? Or is it God expressing itself through other people? Yes, there is violence. There are wars. There are things, I just saw that happen in our paradigm that people are actually physically harmed. But I didn't sign up to be the judge, jury, and executioner in this round. I did not sign up for that. And if you're not signed up for that, justice is going to come how it's going to come. And you're only one little fractal in the ocean of waves that makes source up. You're not doing that this round. And if you are, congratulations, that's your role you chose. We worry too much about exterior things instead of going inside. Undoing all the programming, all of the narrative steering. It takes layers of time, linear time, training, mastery to do these things. You have to give yourself compassion and grace. And for people like myself, I also have to give compassion and grace. I have to give forgiveness for the people that knew not at the time that were projecting their unhealed trauma onto me. I have to forgive myself for allowing the abuse. For they know not. The Curtis books the other day spoke of the they know not paradigm. I speak about it all the time. And what a lot of us are still learning, I know I'm still in this wavelength of the void of mastering my mind. And it's not going to be mastered completely. It's going to be in a 4D mastery in a sense. It's coming to an awareness that we still have a lot of ways to go. And until you do, and be realistic with yourself, and really command the universe to bow at your will. It's just like the Matrix. Is the spoon even real? And he bends it. Obviously, that's AI generated, but there are people out there that can really bend spoons. Taking in the awareness that you create your reality. Before you came here, you contracted myself and a plethora of thousands and thousands of people to cross your path at some point in juncture in your timeline. So every time you elevated, new people are starting to come into your paradigm. New experiences are unfolding, and yet you still have catalysts that still shiv you hard to, hey, wake the fuck up. You still got, and you're still going to get those things. That's not going away anytime soon. The big collapse for me was a course direction and course correction from the divine. I cannot be around people who tell you one thing and I know the truth. People dig their own graves every day, and I have to let that karma play out for itself. And it's not just to be disrespectful, it's just the way the world works. People are going to say some heinous, hateful, horrible projections. And they're in a lower vibratory state, and that's not going to get them anywhere. They're not doing the work on themselves to understand what 4D, 5D, they talk about it like they know it. but they're not embodying it. They're not practicing it. They're projecting their awareness of what it is to you, and they're not doing the work. My Hermantim right now is showing, proving tangible evidence. That's why I put the pings on Facebook. Unexpected AutoZone gift card. I cried. I fell to my knees in utter gratitude. Some of the people on my channel has sent me PayPals and Venmos that made me cry. Like honestly cried. Because the people that I thought would show up for me in the physical, right? Like in my locality, didn't show up. I've noticed this cycle, and this is something that I'm like, oh, we could talk about this. A bullet whizzed through my kitchen and almost killed me. It could have killed me. Didn't almost, but it could have. The potentiality and the possibility was very high that day. Whether it was intentional that somebody put a gun to my window or not, it was a stray. It doesn't matter at this point. The universe was waking me up. And it asked me to see who showed up for me. And there was crickets. The window is still busted. I got foam, not big enough, but I have foam covering the window because it's drafty. It looks like a crime scene at my house when you look in on from the front. I don't care what my house looks like. I need to be warm. Right? That still has not been dealt with. And I went out and I've tried to get pricings and get people to help me cut glass and figure out the process, and I have not gotten there yet. But that's okay. My car decided not to work one morning. I jumped it. It didn't start. I tried jumping it again and tapping the starter and doing a bunch of stuff that people were giving me advice for. People not in my locality, people on my frequency, and nothing worked. And every day I got up earlier, put on some winter gear, and walked to work for a whole month. And I made it through. And the kindness of my staff members, they were super kind enough to get me a gift card. And a few of them said, hey, I know Christmas is right around the corner, but if you text us and we're free, we'll take you to the AutoZone. I might take up my teacher for tomorrow and see if she's available and if she could pick me up and take me to the store to get a battery and a kill switch. I may not be able to put the kill switch in that day, but just to see if it's a battery and go from there. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. I can do all this by myself, but it's not the point. I'm not supposed to be doing this by myself anymore. And I think a lot of you are in the same place that I'm at, where we're all saying unity consciousness and we're all on different wavelengths. But when is the unity actually going to hit? And I'm going to tell you this for what I've been asking upstairs, and not anytime soon. And that's not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just being realistic with you guys. Many of us have an accelerated track right now. We're in the void. The end of the year is here. The snake is shedding its skin. We're going into fire horse. Things will shift. There's always this in between. There's always this bardo, this void of space that the universe is constructing behind the scenes, the things that need to collapse in the branching of reality that you are exhibiting and creating. And that takes time. And the universe is going to come back at you. God itself, the quantum world is going to come back at you like, hey, do you really want this? And you got to be sure of what you want. And you have that, in that alone, you have to step into your empowerment. The biggest change I've noticed within myself in the past month, besides correlating like my mom's journey to transcension 8 years ago in 2 days, if we're still counting today, I'm walking that same journey I did 8 years ago. I had to, 8 years ago, my mom's here, by the way, she's going to make me tear up. 8 years ago, right around Thanksgiving, my mom went into the hospital and she never got to go home. She was stubborn and did not want to. She needed help to get up the stairs, but the EMS was like, oh no, you're going to the hospital. Like, we can't, no. My life changed significantly from that point on because I had to take on now all the responsibilities of the house. Not that my mom did anything. I had the responsibilities, but now I'm like, oh, you're power of attorney and you're this and you're that. And like that stuff weighs on you. Like your decisions mean life or death for somebody else. And I made the right decisions, by the way. I know that I did. But that period of time showed me how strong I could be in the face of transcension of my mom going away. Just transferring her energy into another spot. But the physicality part was, well, I'm going to lose my ability to know what to do to motivate myself to live. My mom gave me a purpose. My mom gave me the ability to have wake up and have a purpose each day. And at that point in my life, I was just working to work and not knowing what was coming next and taking care of my mom. I wasn't focused on me so much. I was just living. Those few weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas was very eye-opening to how strong I was. Our washer and dryer collapsed and broke. I had to go and find a washer and dryer and then have an electrician come in and put an electrical unit, like a 220 in my downstairs and rewire my house because if my mom was the ability that if my mom were to survive what she was going through, I couldn't have a gas dryer in the same room as the equipment that would be in the room for her oxygen. And it was she couldn't, my downstairs where the laundry room was the only place she would be able to be because of my dad having already all the equipment down there. We never got rid of it. She would have been able, that's where she was going to have to live. So that was like, oh, and now I have to go, besides going to the hospital and seeing her, I have to go to the laundromat now and clean everything. Great. Um, so there was a lot of things that happened in that time frame that are very much repetitive in this one. Seeing that no one showed up for me, it was really honestly the last time that I got to hang out with my aunt and actually enjoy her presence. Because after my mom's death, things went south and south very fast, which makes me sad. It gave me a different perspective of what really family is defined as. At that point in time, I did not find I wasn't even looking for my birth parents. Um, that was 6 months after my mom's passing that I had the urge to go and get those tests done and find them. That's another blessing. But the 8 years ago, my whole life was collapsing. It's not easy losing a parent, and I was only 34. I already lost my dad at 22. I didn't have the family bond that everybody, a lot of people have. Not everybody has perfect families. Trust me, I understand that. I never did. I was already the black sheep by being adopted, by the way. Black sheep. I'm feeling the same sense of I'm correlating that because I'm feeling the same array of shit collapse and different types of learning lessons and different things collapsing in my paradigm. But at the same time, after my mom and the funeral and that kind of like in between period of like, what the fuck is gonna go on now? Like I returned back to work and I had to get lawyers and it was just more stress. And then eventually, like things kind of teetered out and calmed down and I was able to collect myself. And then I understood reflecting back, holy crap, I transcended my mom. That's a new ability I didn't know I had. I did my dad, but I didn't get confirmation. I crossed my dad over, but like not in actual death state. I did it like hours before he died. I didn't even know that I had that ability. Like it was solidified with my mom. My abilities are the same cycle. My abilities are heightening. I'm seeing things, I'm starting to experience things and newness to those things. And I know a lot of you have been commenting and texting me and messaging me like you're feeling a lot of stuff now. You're seeing stuff per view out of your side, but you're experiencing things differently right now. And this is why I'm mentioning my mom's transcension, like that pattern 8 years ago, because these are the things that are coming back to do it again twice, perhaps, perhaps not. But I'm correlating with it because I saw the expansive amounts of growth that took place within that time period for myself 8 years ago. 8 years ago, my higher self, six density Allison, 6.5 density, by the way. And that's not from the ego, that's from me knowing dropped down and my whole demeanor, my whole ways of viewing the world changed. I didn't wake up angry anymore because I was not to say I was hostile towards my mother. My mother was stubborn and she pissed the fuck out of me. My mom made my life bananas. I love my mom. We were paired together to learn a lot together but my mom really put me through the ringer towards the end especially. And I'm glad that higher self merged and came into me and knocked that other one out because I had to have more patience. I had to have more grace and compassion for her and what she was going through. And I wasn't giving it to her with the old self. And when that new self merged, I didn't know, but I knew at some point I woke up feeling different, reacting different. I wasn't so snappy at her. I was more compassionate. We had more in-depth talks, and I had the ability to tell her things before she passed that needed to be said and cleared out just for my own sake alone for hers that put us on a better like ending note. And I feel like I'm in that same position as I am now in a different paradigm, though. Like, obviously, no one around me is passing away or transcending, but myself is. I think my soul is getting ready for the seventh density higher self to merge in. And the death throes from the old echo of sixth density, echo, echo, is trying to magnetize me to pull me back into sixth density self. I'm not talking about like the body, I'm talking about my soul. What I've been experiencing, and I think many of you have been experiencing, is higher density testings, mastery on a higher level in a third dimensional body, and we can't compute everything that's going on. That's what my estimation is. That's the gridding, the merging of the Schumann resonance. So the lines are going down and they're coming across. And you're seeing the layering of the light coming down. They're clunking together, but it's showing like there's a merger happening. Now, I know I had the Schumann resonance back then, but I did not have the phone. My phone was obviously, it's 8 years old. I changed my phone. If I had the evidence back then on the Schumann resonance, and I didn't really put it up on Facebook, it's been a phenomenal thing right now. I would show you that that's kind of the very similar energy that I was experiencing back then and that I am now. And I want you guys to equate, do you feel like your higher self is walking into you? You're merging with your higher self, which is you in a higher form. I did it already in 2017, and I think it happened because I had a major life change, depressing as that was. It prepared me to not like go off the deep end and act as old self. I was a very destructive child and teenager and even young adult. I was destructive. I numbed myself out with substances. I didn't want to face the world. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to express myself in a healthy manner. I was never shown. Um, I hate to say this, but even up to this day, the pinging of the echo of abandonment keeps. That's some heavy energy. And even though I know I healed a lot of that, I don't think people understand the challenge when you get in those pings of the death throes of like, oh, you thought you healed this bitch. Here we are again. And when I say abandonment, I was abandoned at birth. Not to say my mother meant for that to happen, but I was never put on my mother's chest. I never had a bonding with anybody when I was born. I was literally born into the light and then to the willy-nilly of all these strangers. I never had the connection to my mother that 98% of other kids have. I was never put on my mom's chest. Whether you hate your mom or love your mom, that's a bond that you have with them. I never was able to have that with mine. That it was the first moment of when the trauma hit was when I was born. How unfair is that? Mind you now, that feeling has rippled and I've healed that, especially in my birth. I understand where I needed to be adopted, and I know now, but in the before I knew all that, I had so many people just walk away from me, and I had no idea why. I had so many people when I go out of my way to be the nice person, to be the reliable friend, show up. I can't tell you how many nights, because I was the mommy with the car with my friends. I was the responsible one. I get phone calls. Hey, Allie, I need to go to the hospital. Hey, Allie, I'm really, really drunk and I'm on this road and I don't know where I am, or whatever the case. I used to pick my friends up and people that I knew that relied on me. They chose me to be their safe person. And as annoying as it was, I'm glad that I had that in someone else's heart space to say, hey, like Allison is reliable and she's a really good person. And I know if I called her, she would actually do it for me. I'm always that person that shows up when people need stuff. But then when Allison has some shit, and it is for what it is. I'm very hyper independent. I can handle it on my own, but should I be able to? And of course, I had I have people I could call. I don't choose to. I don't want to loop back into that echo. I don't want to loop back into those experiences because I can very much call a few people. Hey, I need my car fixed. Could you come and pick me up and get me a battery? I'll give you some money or I'll buy you a pizza or something. Sure. But do I want to repeat the cycle of with those people? This is where the universal tests are going to hit and they're going to hit hard. I'm not talking about my coworkers. My coworkers are my coworkers. I don't go out for happy hour with them just yet. I don't even know if there is such a thing. In New York, I used to go happy hour. We all had a common goal of having fun on Fridays. We used to go and used to watch mozzarella be turned and made and balled up and used to have a glass of wine all the time. Different places. We used to show all of us showed up for happy hour and got a nice glass of wine, and we all used to just finagle money together. But I'm not that camaraderie is not yet formalized just yet with all the people I work with. But what they did for me was huge. Was not expecting it. So for me, that's a ping from the universe to say, hey, Allison, here's some relief. Ping, I want more of that. Where in your life can you pull the ping from? Whether it be get someone random gave you a Christmas card, and I'm bad at this. When people send me cards, I totally like open it and like get warmy and gushy and then forget to say thank you. Note to self. Um, it doesn't need to be financial. It just needs to be an act of kindness that someone sends you something or someone drops you a nice message. Someone shows up for you in some way that answers you back, whatever it may be. Those are little pings from the universe, and all you have to respond with is, I want more of that. And feel it in your heart. That's the change I'm starting to see every morning. I'm not visualizing because your imagination can go in a million different directions, right? I'm in the superposition of collapsing that reality, and I know what that reality is. I defined it, I already lived it. Now I have to remember what it feels like to be it. Not the wish fulfilled, not the act as if, not the vision board, because that shows you're in a lack mindset. Crazy. I know it sounds like it, but coming at it from, oh, I just have to remember how it feels to be in a car that I desire. To have the partnership that shows up for me when, hey, my car's dead. Oh, no problem, babe. Let's go to the store and get you a battery. Here, let's go figure this out. To have someone show up for me, not just speak all these pleasant things they want to do and never do them. Or, hey, I'm too busy for you. I'm living the life where I already have a beautiful husband, a handsome guy who is showing up for me. Listen, right now, it won't be equal give and take in the third dimensional world. I'm not there yet, but you know what? They can walk right next to me and watch me elevate and be there and help me elevate. I'm living that right now. I'm bringing it to me. I'm arriving at the frequency where this is my reality. I'm saying this to say eventually I'm going to have tangible evidence of this working. I want you guys to start practicing remembering that timeline you already live and collapsing that higher self in you. Notice how you're changing your reactions to things in the world. I'm now seeing more people stopping and really thinking about, well, if I'm listening to all the political stuff, am I doing the work on myself? Is this just a distraction? The real change in the universe comes from within you. Your frequency matters. You matter. The way you're thinking about reality matters because if you're thinking, well, these people need to die and those people are evil and oh, look at the file that just came out. Oh my God. See, I was right. You're feeding the negative vibration, the echo that it continuates the karmic loop. That's why I had to get off that loop a long time ago. Listen, I'm not saying that these things didn't happen. I'm not dispelling that these things didn't occur. Of course they did. But I remember that it did. I know it because we co-created this story together. I'm just not feeding it my energy anymore to manifest and continuate in my reality. It's going to show up, but I'm not compelled to feed my energy field to it to continue. I'm not telling people they need to die because they're a specific religion or race. I'm not perpetuating the hate anymore or the separation from source. If you want to talk God, then stop separating yourself from everything. Stop living in lack and limitation and understand where you're doing it in your life and stop. Refocus your awareness to inside. Do you really hate all those people? If you have a vehement spew, you're not in the vibration of where most people speak and tell me that they are at. Because you're still hating. You're still projecting it. You're still feeding it. And therefore, that's why a lot of people had to fall out of my life. Not because I don't love them, not because I don't want to be their friends, because I'm frequenting at a frequency and a vibration that's tuned to a different radio station. I tuned into one that's feeding the positive light paradigm, not the shadow. What are you feeding? You could collapse your superposition is a 360 view of all of your lived experiences. In a third dimensional body, you do have limitation in where you can choose a timeline from, but you have your shadow self that you could choose from, or the light side you could choose from. It's your free will choice. There's your free will right there. You could choose because it's all you anyway. There's yous on the shadow and there are you in the light. Which one are you choosing from? The many worlds interpretation is going to be more exact once more people can show that this exists. Neville Goddard, super holy guy, proved the multiverse, proved the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. He proved it. But you have to, the difference now is, and why only a few people ever got to that attainment, it's remembering what it feels like, not a false feeling. Not, oh my God, I won the lottery. Okay, you already won the lottery. What are you doing with the money and how does it feel? How does it feel? But the odds in the third dimensional plane is very few people ever will get that obtainment. What can you believe that you can obtain? That's where you need to start. You want to shift and change your world. That's the mindset you need to shift to. What is your belief system? Define what you believe you are capable of, because you are a worthy human being and you're worthy of everything. But what is that everything and what's the definition of it? For me, to be happy, I am happy. I love myself. That's why I'm still alive. What will fulfill the desire, the dream in practicality is the goals. I know I have already obtained the 6-figure from selling my artwork. I have a knowing that my YouTube channel eventually will have 100K subscribers and 300 memberships plus. That's just a limited number, but it's something I feel can be obtained. I know I can obtain a beautiful man that will match my energy and that will walk life with me, and we will walk together with purpose and be a couple that has amazing experiences and that thrives off each other and not puts each other down. Unfortunately, I'm a fucking bastard mirror for a lot of people's unhealed trauma. I mirror that shit back like a SOB. That's the plan I made with these people in contract, and I dissolved that. I said no more. I am not going to be anybody's, like, I don't want to be that version of myself that does that. I know I signed a contract to be the CUNT. Get it. But I don't want to be the mirror anymore. I want to mirror the best out of somebody and not out of the detriment of what they need to heal. I don't want to do that any longer. I'm tired of doing that. That's all my story has been. Out of that cycle, tuning into a new frequency and a new radio station where that doesn't exist. It had its purpose. And I'm glad to help people and mirror their behavior back to them where they need to heal. But at the end of the day, it devastates me because that's not how I want to show up in the world anymore. And it sucks. Spirit had me pause for a minute, besides coughing. Change yourself first. I alone cannot change society for the better, but I can radically transform my own consciousness, overturning the conditioning that limits my potential. We can all do this, one by one. Over time, we can change ourselves to the degree that society changes from the inside out, giving birth to a new way of being, manifesting our birthright of living in a peaceful and abundant world. I have no fear. Trust yourself. Live your full potential. The more of us who become sovereign in our ways, we still have to play in the system. We're still going to have these little things pop up that we have to clear. We're still going to be tested. The abandonment one is that keeps showing up. It changes the way I perceive. But I came to the resolution that I still have to show up for myself regardless of who doesn't. and that I'm going to find a way and I have to find better people. All of you who watch me, support me, and are behind me are my support or my family. The word definitions don't even define anymore what goes on in my heart because there's no definition to how I feel about the help that's being received. We're all, when more of us hit this frequency and tune our radio stations to the same dial and listening to the same jam, and we are in a higher vibration and we're not allowing the pings and echoes, the death rolls of the past to suck us back in magnetically to that shit show that is playing out in the theaters near you. I rather ignore that reality. It's not the one I claim. It's not the one I'm living in. It's not to ignore that things are batshit crazy right now. Bad as everything has been flying off my desk this week. It's not to ignore that shit's going down in the 3D, but are you the one helping anchor the new earth in? If you are, then you have the awareness and a knowing already. Some of you are now getting it. You're moving away from allowing that crap that's out in the world to dictate to you how to feel. You're no longer basing reality on someone coming in to save you. You're not basing your reality on the material world, although you still have to play in it, you still have to function within it. You're now striving for the reality that you already are living, and you're merging that reality in the now moment. It's going to feel very confusing, very ugly, very disjointed. I keep pulling up the image of like my ping pong, my soul pinging in and out. But that's because my soul is getting ready to have a higher ended form moving in. Bye, six density self. You served me. I love you. Bye. I love you. I love you. You did nothing but amazement for me. You shifted me. The change, the radical change of my mom dying and the radical change of a humongous move I had to do all by myself. What? My six higher density self did that. Go me go. But now it's time for that entity of my soul, that portion of my soul, to go take some rest, much needed healing, and for the higher form to come in. There's always a higher self in every density. It's just your soul in a higher form. And that's not to gloat. That's just to tell you that you are capable of it too. There's nothing that I'm doing that you can't do. Seriously. It has nothing to do with abilities. Those are just add-ons. It's just like macros when you're playing a game. It just makes things go quicker. But in reality, you could still do the same thing without a macro. World of Warcraft language, video gaming language. Um, those are short keys. I never really short keyed my life. I did it the long way, and that's the way my soul chose. You're coming into a remembrance that you're already living that free, abundant, amazing life. You're starting to feel it. Your ego gives you the identity of not believing that these things can happen because you've been in a state of, most of us have been in lack. We have the struggles, we have the pain and the suffering. But now it's our turn to be the master alchemists in our own lives and to take this shit and to really fucking let it go. Bye, old self. I've been talking about this for 2 years now. We already made the room for the new identity to come in, the new personality, the new ego, the higher ended person that's supposed to come in and dwell in you. That old self is, thank you, I love you, you served me, I wish you nothing but the best, go take a rest, you need it. And then the new self, the new identity, the new higher self comes in. My new higher self that is really in within grasp is not going to allow people to walk all over me anymore. It's not going to allow or tolerate bullshit. It's going to come in with more empathy and compassion and patience for others. It's already seeing the peace that is over indwelling in me. I'm not waking up angry anymore because I don't have a car and I can't go to the places I want to go. I can't afford to anyway. I'm not upset that I can't pay my bills. Whatever. And it's not because I don't care. I do. Deep down inside, I do care. I'm not that irresponsible person that, but at some point you have to relinquish and release and surrender to the universe the things that you can't control. And there are a lot of things about this 3D dimension that I can't control. I can't control inflation. I can't control who and what gives me a paycheck. I can't control that my worth isn't seen yet in the world. And that's the third dimensional way of thinking. I am now going to be abundant. I am going to sell my artwork. I am going to be in a spot that I know that I don't have to cry and plea and ask for help. And if I ask for help, it's going to be in minute ways that are just amplifying the energy for everybody else. I want more of us to feel these things and to understand what is the most amazement that's in front of you. Having the empowerment to know that your old self is dying and it's going to test you and it's going to suck. That doesn't go away. How you view the victory at the end of the day is going to be the game changer for you. I'm choosing to see this period of my life as the death, the transmutation of the old into the new. My mother's transcension was a very ugly, very terrifying last moments, last hours of her life was devastating. To have to sit there and actually watch that and then have to move her on sucked. Did it in with great compassion and love. That day taught me a lot about my own self. That was one of the major lessons I could have learned in this lifetime was letting go and detaching. My mom had a very difficult time detaching. She was so attached to me. My mother was like attached. She did not want me to go out. She didn't want me to have a boyfriend, but she always dreamt of the marriage and the wedding and all that beautiful stuff. But she couldn't let me go. She had a lot of fear in her heart. And I think right now what we're seeing in the paradigm playing out is a lot of fear is dispelling. A lot of people are seeing what they're projecting out of them is nothing but pure fear, pure trauma, things that are ugly that need to be released, but they're projecting it onto other people. I've been noticing this in the paradigm. Unhealed, unresolved trauma coming up to surface for its last whims before the real transformation for people that are not in the higher awareness it's going to take place. So for those of you who are listening to me, this holiday season is going to be rough for a lot of people, including myself. I'm just choosing to take each day as it comes. If you have to be around other people, be the observer, objective observer. Don't absorb their projections, even if they sit there and slaughter you in your integrity. I'm not saying take it, but be the bigger person. In those moments that if that does occur, how can you transmute that negativity into a positivity? A lot of us don't know there's a lot of things going on in other people's lives that are very detrimental, and it's people are holding on by strings right now. More of you should be coming out with your stories and however you want to project it, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or wherever social media you're on, and just motivate people to say, hey, look what I had to overcome. I'm not here to compare my issues, my circumstances, but hey, you know what? I want to be here to motivate you to overcome yours. I think this is the biggest healing property that we can give people for the holidays is like, hey, you're not alone. And even though you might be physically alone, there are people out there that will give you some motivation to say, hey, this don't give up just yet. What is it that you want in your life? Name it and then claim it. Command it into your life with respect, of course. I'm arriving at the reality. I'm observing the reality, the frequency of. Feel it as if you are merging with the self that has it already, not the fanciful shit that you know you can't obtain, the lack that you know that is there. That's the self-doubt. That is the, yeah, right, I can't get that. What are you talking about? No. Get a list of things you know in your intuition that you can obtain. Be practical. Work within the 3D confines of this world. Be modest and understand that the higher the want of some very difficult things to grasp, right? That materialistic item that is so far out of reach. Do the small stuff first. Once you obtain the small stuff, then you have given yourself the proof, the evidence, and the tangibility that you are a powerful being. Then you believe in yourself a little bit more. The pings from the universe are going to show you in little ways here and there that you're on the right path and you are a powerful creator. Then you can go for the bigger stuff. The stair stepping happens because it takes a lot longer to manifest something into a third dimensional form because it's not just popping up in your purview. It's people, places, and things, opportunities, doors opening, people walking into your life that are the opportunities for you to obtain those things. It's not because the SUV is popping up in my driveway tomorrow. Did I put in to win a car? Right? That's the only way that could possibly ever occur. Gifting, I don't think anybody's going to give me an SUV. It's not, but what I'm saying is that stuff is least likely to happen. But when I'm walking into the self that already has it, well, that person had to get an opportunity to open up to have more financial stability in order to go to the store and purchase the vehicle. There's steps involved. It's not like this stuff materializes and you're in it and winning it to chicken dinner. This stuff is stuff that you have to work for. You still have to have a cause and effect and action into motion for these things in 3 dimensions. Yes, your consciousness is 4D. Yes, your state of being is even higher. But in tangibility, in duality, in this low density experience, things still need to have a cause and effect and action into motion in order to obtain. What we say by co-creating and manifesting quicker and faster is because the opportunities and the abundance is coming to you quicker for you to obtain those things that you desire and want and already are living. somebody has an opportunity for me at a museum or in a gallery that I get a show and that I'm able to put my work up and I sell it. And there goes my 6 figures. I get my coursework done, or, just step one of that slide, and more people view my work to go, oh, that's what that means. And oh, that's how I equate it to spirituality. And now I get more subscribers coming in. I get more people subscribing and becoming members. It's not like it's instantaneously going to have 100K subscribers. That's not how it works. You got to get that process in your mind and embed it in there to say, okay, how do I work to obtain this? How do I feel into myself that already has this? Is that person like, or is that person nice and calm and chilling out in the car? That's the feeling you want. And then you could visualize yourself in the vehicle driving to the store, in the delivery of whatever vehicle that you're looking to get. The color, the inside, whatever it is. As if you already are in that car and driving it, but not as if that's a mystical dream. You already have it. That's the difference. I already see a potential house that I am co-creating with the person that I'm going to marry. And the beautiful life that I just transformed overnight and moved into a better life just from a union of two people. What can you do in this now moment to think about what you want? You want to know what your purpose is? Is to anchor into the self that already has what you want. By doing that alone, ups the vibration of self, because now you obtain the things that will make you happy, that tangibly shows other people that if you could do it, anybody could do it. More and more people start manifesting the reality of a higher density form of self. The bridge drops and 5Ds is easier to obtain. The shift in humanity is ready to change. More of us that work on these things, clear out our energy, clear it out, get self-assurance that you are worthy of it all, that you love yourself enough that you want the best for yourself, not some pacified, well, I have to be in this situation because. Choose to be around people who are going to make you thrive, who are going to feed you the positivity that you need in order to succeed. Be around like-minded individuals where you don't have to lower or hold yourself back for conversations that other people think you're batshit crazy. Be around your tribe, and that is a forever growing, encompassing thing. We're all going to merge with more and more people, and we're all going to merge together. Some people are going to fall off, and some people are going to go up with us. Don't worry, it's not a competition. Never was. Everybody's going to do everything on their own time and in their own reality. The humanitarian aspect of it all, the work that we're all doing, and it is for humanity, by the way, is right now finding the people that are going to make us thrive, having the opportunities presented to us to help each other thrive. The little things that you do add up. So make everything that you do count. Empower yourself. If that's a Christmas gift or a holiday gift you can give to yourself, it's one that's worth $1,000,000. Empower yourself. Set your boundaries and don't let anybody cross them. You can't handle me? There's my sign. I love you. From afar, over there, out of my locality. I know I want the best for myself. I know I'm not supposed to do this by myself. I'm supposed to find my complement because I'm supposed to help them shift. I'm supposed to work with them. And I don't want to be that mirror anymore, the nasty one. I want to come from the light side. If I have to be the empath in the mirror, I'm cool with that. Just stop with the ugly. I'm done with the ugly. I'm done having to project a person that I'm not. I'm trying to get my authenticity to 100%. Very close. It's not that I was never authentic. It's just the subconscious and the contract makes it really difficult when I have to be a mirror for somebody for them to understand their learning lessons. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be an ugly asshole. I don't want to be somebody that is perceived off because I'm not being myself. I have to be the mirror. I don't want to be a mirror anymore. I'm saying that out into the universe for a reason. Because that's an ugly side of me that I don't want, that really isn't me. It's a version of me that has to for our contractual reason I have to be. No, no more. Disentangle. If there's people that echo out of your life because you transform to the new radio station and you're tuning in, you're working that antenna, you're getting those waves. If someone were to come back into your life, whether it be a past lover, a wife, a husband, a child, the people that like from this, don't throw them away. They might have done some healing and are frequenting on the wavelength where you're at. Discern, go in your heart, know what's true for you. Don't knock those people out because they're not where you are cognizantly. Not everybody chose to do the intellectual wisdom and knowledge based ascension steps. There are people that have no concept of spirituality, no concept of quantum physics. They're just running the program, but they got out of the program quietly and they did some work and now they understand what they're doing and now they're going to re-enter back in because you're the person that's going to guide them. They raise their vibration enough to the lower part of your wavelength that you can just, hey, welcome back. Hi, we missed you. I'm going to give you some love. How can I help? Instead of, well, you did this to me and blah, 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 blah. Let that go in the past self. Let that relinquish in your past self. Everybody that's in your life is there for a purpose. Some come in seasons, some stay, some recycle back. And that recycling doesn't necessarily need to be a test from the universe to make sure you're not on the echo. It might mean that you're there and you are contracted to guide those people. There's a lot of people who slandered my name and was lowering their frequency because they were dictated something that they don't know the truth on. They think I'm a horrible person. Well, eventually truth shines its light in the frequency of where they're at, and they finally get to their senses, and now they want to make their way back, and they're going to be opened arms for them because they knew not at the time they were allowing things to dictate their reality, and now that they're not, and they have clear thinking, they're going within. Hey, welcome back. No judgment. You didn't know any better. If we could take things in this life in that standpoint, like, hey, I don't forget what you said, or the potentialities of the things, but I'm not living in that self anymore. I'm over here doing me. And if you want to join me over here, cool. And if you want to stay here, cool. You're welcomed. If we adapt more of that mindset, because there are going to be a lot of people that start elevating quickly that are going to re-enter your lives. Are you going to accept them with open arms? Yeah, sure. Have your boundaries up and shield yourself, obviously. But know that they're coming back for a divine purpose. And if it is, you'll know if it's an echo of the old self. If they're pulling you back, that's where your empowerment is. And that's where you have to go and do the work to know what the purpose of that contract is with that person. These things are hard to discern at first, but we're in that mastery zone in the void right now. We're mastering how to become a butterfly. We're at the ash point of the phoenix rising. We're in the ashes. Shit's already took place. Now we're like, oh, I have to take off now. But I have to get my fire burning first. Hi, Spirit. Take the step back to see what it is. Why? And only you are going to know how to answer that question for yourself. Take this holiday and take the new, what we, in collective consciousness call the new year. And ask yourself a few questions. How have I grown in a year? What goals can I make that I can obtain because I'm already living them? Now, how does that feel? How do I feel? Do I feel excited but calm? What pings in the universe is showing me that I'm on a new timeline, that I'm merging with that higher self? What is the universe giving me in synchronicity? Whether it be angelic numbers or little things here and there that are happening. What miracles are showing up in your life? Ask yourself. This is how the work gets done. It's going to take time for these things to make a big difference and a big impact in all of our lives. But I'm hoping I am starting to show some tangibility to what I'm going through at this absolute collapse, to merging in with the self that already has a beautiful life and the one that I deserve. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. I just, upstairs, really needed to get this message out today because there's a lot of people who are still in a confused state. There's a lot of sadness and angst going on in the world, and I don't want to see that. But at the same time, those people have to make a change within themselves to do the work. Changing the mindset. And look, be realistic. I still don't know how I'm paying my bills, but I'm not worrying about it no more. I'm not worried about when the guy is going to drop on and knock on my door and marry me. Not worried about it. I'm not even visualizing who that person is. I already know that I have it. So I'm just feeling my way to that higher self, feeling that change. And I already done this 8 years ago. I was in a metamorphosis period trying to figure out how am I going to stand on my own 2 feet and do this alone for the first time in my life. Like be literally alone. No parents, no family, no one to guide me but myself and my spirits. I think I did a pretty damn good job in 8 years, doing a lot of things that I didn't think I could do by myself. I did. So ask yourself, where have you come from? Maybe in the last 10 years, how have you grown? And give yourself some reprieve and love. because you're still here and you're still persevering and you're still pushing forward against in extremes that you can't define in words. Hi, Spirit. Back to regular scheduled programming tomorrow. I will probably be doing a paint and sip. I'm going to see if I can get a ride tomorrow to get my battery and to get the car up and running before Christmas. We shall see. It might have to happen after Christmas. Um, I know everybody's really busy and don't like to bother people. I have everything I need right now, so we're good. But sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the shoulders. Be the lighthouse. Sprinkle and seed your truths. Light that path forward. I'll be live for Craft and Sip on Tuesday. I don't know what time. I have nowhere to be. And Tuesday would be the anniversary of my mom's passing. So I might do something special. We'll see. I hope all of you have a blessed and beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Please be gentle with yourself at this time. And make sure you're doing self-care and doing for yourself, even if it's just clipping your nails. And maybe giving yourself a haircut or just dressing up to be pretty or handsome and dapper. Until the next time, guys, please be safe, be seen, and be safe for the holidays. If you don't see me and you're doing the holiday thing, please have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Saturnalia, Happy whatever you celebrate. Find that home spot, the hearth in your heart, and live in that. And bye for now.